Have you ever felt trapped? I mean, truly cornered, with nowhere to run and danger closing in from all sides? Imagine this. You're leading millions of your people, men, women, children, and all their livestock, on a desperate journey to freedom. Behind you, the dust cloud on the horizon is getting bigger, closer. You know what it is. It's the most powerful army in the world, led by a furious Pharaoh, and they're coming for you. In front of you, a vast, uncrossable sea. This isn't just a story. It's the predicament Moses and the Israelites found themselves in, a moment that would test their faith like never before. Let's rewind a bit to understand how they got here. For 400 years, the Israelites had been slaves in Egypt. Their lives were filled with back-breaking labor and suffering under the harsh rule of the pharaohs. But a prophecy whispered through generations gave them hope. A deliverer would come. That deliverer was Moses. Raised in Pharaoh's own palace, but forced to flee after defending one of his own. Moses encountered God in a burning bush and was given a monumental task. Go back to Egypt and tell Pharaoh to let his people go. This was no easy request. Pharaoh was considered a god on earth, and his empire was built on the backs of Israelite slaves. So, when Moses and his brother Aaron stood before him, Pharaoh's heart was hardened. He refused. What followed was a series of 10 devastating plagues. A divine showdown between the power of God and the stubbornness of a king. From the Nile turning to blood to the sky raining down fire and hail. Each plague was a direct challenge to the Egyptian gods and a plea for Pharaoh to release the Israelites. Still, he refused, his pride blinding him to the suffering of his own people. The final plague was the most terrible. The firstborn son in every Egyptian household would perish, from the palace to the dungeon. He gathered his army, 600 of his best chariots, and all the other chariots of Egypt, and set off in hot pursuit. The chase was on. This brings us back to that terrifying moment on the shores of the Red Sea. The Israelites looked back and saw the dust cloud of Pharaoh's army. Panic erupted. They turned on Moses, their fear turning to anger. Was it because there were no graves in Egypt that you brought us to the desert to die? What have you done to us by bringing us out of Egypt? It would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the desert. Imagine Moses in that moment. The weight of millions of terrified people on his shoulders, the deadliest army in the world at his back, and an impassable sea before him. It's a moment of extreme pressure. But Moses' faith did not waver. He turned to the people and declared, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Then, God gave Moses a simple, yet incredible, instruction. Raise your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea to divide the water so that the Israelites can go through the sea on dry ground. Moses obeyed. He stretched his hand out over the Red Sea, and then the impossible happened. Throughout the night, a strong east wind blew, pushing the waters back. The sea divided. The water formed a wall on their right and on their left, and a path of dry land appeared right through the middle of the deep sea. Can you picture the scene? The sheer awe, the mix of terror and wonder as the Israelites walked between two towering walls of water. The seabed, which should have been mud and muck, was dry ground. They hurried across, a nation on the move, flanked by liquid walls, guided by the pillar of fire. This wasn't just an escape. It was a miracle of epic proportions, a spectacle that defied every law of nature. Seeing the path, Pharaoh and his army didn't hesitate. Blinded by rage and arrogance, they charged into the sea after them. The chariots, the horsemen, the entire Egyptian force thundered down the path between the walls of water, convinced they had their prey trapped. They were so close. But as the last of the Israelites stepped onto the far shore, just as the dawn was breaking, God gave Moses another command. Stretch out your hand over the sea, so that the waters may flow back over the Egyptians and their chariots and horsemen. Moses stretched out his hand. At daybreak, the sea returned to its place. The walls of water collapsed. Chaos ensued. The mighty Egyptian army was thrown into confusion, their chariots getting stuck in the mud. The sea engulfed them, the chariots, the soldiers. Pharaoh's entire elite force that had pursued the Israelites all were swallowed by the churning waters. Not one of them survived. When the Israelites looked back, they saw the bodies of their former masters washed up on the shore. The threat was gone. The most powerful army on earth had been defeated, not by a sword, but by the hand of God. The fear that had gripped them just hours before was replaced with overwhelming relief and awe. They were truly free. In that moment of deliverance, Miriam, Moses' sister, took a tambourine in her hand, and all the women followed her with tambourines and dancing. They sang a song of triumph, a song of praise that echoed across the shore. Sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. Both horse and driver he has hurled into the sea. The entire nation joined in, their voices rising in a powerful chorus of gratitude and worship. The parting of the Red Sea is more than just an incredible historical event. It's a powerful symbol of hope and deliverance. It teaches us that even when we feel trapped, with our backs against the wall and impossible obstacles in front of us, there is always a way forward. It's a story that reminds us that faith, in the face of fear, can lead to miracles. When the situation seems most hopeless, that is often when deliverance is closest. It's a timeless lesson that resonates with us even today. No matter what sea or army you might be facing in your own life, remember the story of the Israelites. Stand firm, have faith, and watch for the path that opens up where there seems to be no way. Thank you so much for watching. This story inspired you. Please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that explores the powerful stories that have shaped our world. Let us know in the comments what part of this story stood out to you the most. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.